My name is Bento. I'm a teacher in my real job, and I'm on the Kent School Board. So the path that led me to being on the school board today is that I had applied to be on the vacant board opening, and I was appointed to the position in February of this year. This fall, I ran for office and now have been elected to my current position. So ultimately, I ran for the position to be on the board, mostly just because I know the importance of public education. My family, they're immigrants to this country. I was a first-generation student. My family, my siblings were first-generation students into the public school system. I always tell people that everything that has happened to my family in positive ways has been because of public education. Everything in public education, I feel like my family has touched, whether it's athletics, activities, special education, language learning services, curricular, it's everything we've done, AP, honors, like my family, I feel like we've been in everything in education. So to me, it's important to be a part of a system where we're supporting students and education, because to me, it benefited my family and I greatly. And so no matter what part of education that we're participating in, I think it's important that I support my community. And this is, for me, the way that I've chosen to support the community is by being on this board. Some of my goals I have, one is I'm always gonna listen to students, because students I think are the most important when it comes to the work in the Kent School District. Secondly, I think we need to listen to educators. I think sometimes we're not always listening to educators, and we need to make sure that their voices are heard. Thirdly, I think it's important to, no matter what we're talking about, we need to talk about equity. I feel like when we discuss equity, it doesn't matter if it's racial equity, language barriers, disabilities, gender identity, sexual orientation, we need to make sure that all voices are brought to the table and that we support all students no matter their backgrounds, because everyone needs to have successful education so they can pursue their goals. What excites me about this opportunity of being on the school board is, again, working with students. In my day job, I'm a teacher, so I work with students already all day. As a high school teacher, I teach health, I teach psychology in the IB program at my school. And to me, it's important to make sure that we connect with students. I think a lot of times students are the people we serve, but I feel like they're the ones we listen to the least. So I'm really excited to be here to make sure that we are listening to our students. I'm gonna make sure that student voice is in everything that we do. We need to always refer back to our students for everything. And people think that's weird sometimes, whether it comes to a superintendent search, whether it comes to committee, district curriculum, materials. Students need to have their voices heard. They're benefiting from the system, and we need to make sure that their voices are contributing to the work that's happening, and we need to listen to them. So in my downtime, I don't really have downtime, but I try to make time for it. I feel like sometimes I have 3 jobs between working and my volunteering and being on the board, but I do think volunteering is one thing that brings me joy, so I do that. I try to do that at least 5 to 10 hours a week. Another thing I do is union activities. I know that's not necessarily fun always, but being someone that believes in supporting workers, I think it's important to participate in my local union and make sure that I'm doing everything to support educators and my community, so that way we can support our students. And for real downtime, I love to work in my yard. I have a garden. I like to make sure that I want to grow food that I can eat. So I'm trying to be like an urban farmer. Not successfully as much as I would like to, but for me, it's something I like to do. And of course, you know, we have a dog named Coco, so we play with her too. So to me, that's all in a day's work and fun. If I were to pick a favorite Kent establishment, my favorite would be a little steakhouse on Washington called Asadero. Amazing, delicious. That would be the place I go to, that I would choose. One positive school experience I've had in my K-12 career, I would focus on high school. I feel like high school, I had a lot of choices. I think a lot of the leadership activities I participated in still contribute to the work I do today. Participating in things like leadership and yearbook. I think for those, and theater, drama, I think anything that allowed me to express myself, anything that allowed me to organize, design, and be a leader was all things that prepared me for where I'm at today. So for me, a lot of extracurriculars, sorry, core content people, but I think for me and my brain, it was the arts and it was hands-on and leadership that really benefited me, that made me the person I am today.